At the end of the previous video, I asked a question, is it better to be single or married? In the essay of Marriage and Single Life by Francis Bacon, we will discuss both sides of single and married life. So let's start. The first disadvantage of marriage is married man's life confines him to limited space. He can't risk his family life to do any significant or harmful act because of his wife and children. He has a responsibility to protect and care for his family. Married men care about the future of their children because they need to fulfill their promises to their children. On the other hand, a single man is free to take on risky endeavors. Since he has no responsibility and restrictions like a married man, an unmarried or a childless man can pursue his dream without thinking much about success and failure. Therefore, the significant contributions to humanity mostly come from unmarried or childless men. They care for the public and make society a better place through their service and innovations. However, we can't conclude that all single men are benevolent. There are some selfish single men for whom the welfare of society doesn't matter to them. They are not concerned about any other thing except their own. Some single men believe having a wife and children is a means of expenditure. They think they will become wealthier than married men if they have no family. Therefore, some greedy rich men remain single and feel proud about it. They conclude that family expenditure reduces money after hearing about rich married men. Another benefit that single men get is freedom. Therefore, many bachelors stay away from marriage. They think marriage is a confinement. They are free to accomplish almost anything, whereas a married man has certain restrictions. However, it only applies to self-content and humorous minds. Fancy or humor guides their minds. Such a man is sensitive towards every restraint. A single man who is not dependent emotionally or physically on another person can enjoy freedom. Because of liberty, single men can be best friends because they can devote their time to friendship. On the other hand, a married man might not maintain friendships with most of his friends, especially with a bachelor, because the spouse will forbid him. In this context, Charles Lamb says in A Bachelor's Complaint of the Behavior of Married People that no wife will tolerate her husband's friendship with a bachelor if their friendship is older than her marriage. Unmarried men are also the best masters and servants as they have no families to distract them in their service. However, they are not always the best subjects because they can run away at any time. There is nothing in their life to hold them back. They might not be perfect for certain situations, but they are ideal for some professions. For instance, single life is perfect for a churchman. Being single, a churchman can serve people wholeheartedly. If a churchman has a family, his family is his priority, and he will first have to fulfill the requirements of his family. He cannot serve society the way a bachelor can. It is not important for corrupted judges or magistrates whether they are married or single. They might have a servant who is 5 times worse than a wife. Anyway, a married life is ideal for soldiers. The generals usually implant the image of their family in their minds in their encouraging speeches before wars. Family gives them a reason to survive in a bleak situation like war. A soldier desperately wants to be with his family, and the prospect of union with the family gives him the motivation to reunite with his family. Therefore, the hatred for marriage in the Turkish soldiers makes them base, wicked. Married life is also significant because a man needs a family to continue the race of man. Moreover, the family provides a man with a support system. Family keeps his tender feelings alive. Single men may be charitable, but because of the lack of emotional contact, they are devoid of tender feelings. Therefore, some single men are cruel and hard-hearted. To get the benefits of marriage, both husband and wife must have certain qualities. Bacon says seriousness and virtues are qualities of a loving husband. He gives the example of Ulysses. Ulysses rejects the offer of immortality by Calypso and her company and returns to Ithaca to be with his wife Penelope. Similarly, chastity and obedience are qualities of a faithful wife. A woman will be loyal to her man if she knows her husband is wise. However, she does not take it seriously if the husband is jealous. Another benefit of married life is that a wife can be a partner for a young man. A wife, like a mistress, can fulfill the physical hunger of a man. In middle age, a woman provides companionship to a man. In their old age, she becomes a caretaker of her man. Therefore, Bacon says, wives are young men's mistresses and companions for middle age and old men's nurses. I find the statement biased. To know the reason, visit the blog. Anyway, you may think, what is the right time to marry? Thales of Miletus, one of the 7 sages of ancient Greece, answered the question. A young man, not yet. An elder man, not at all. When his mother asked him to marry, he gave the excuse that he was too young to marry. Later, he said he was too old to marry someone. An aged man may not fulfill the needs of his wife. So, if it is too late for marriage, it is better not to marry. Similarly, a young man who chases after only pleasure and has certain unrealistic expectations is not fit for marriage. Marriage is not only about satisfying physical hunger. If one marries with certain unrealistic expectations, he is bound to be unhappy. Furthermore, one should not marry to fill up the void that a man experiences. Here I would like to add what Friedrich Nietzsche said in Human All Too Human. He said, when entering into a marriage, one ought to ask oneself, do you believe you are going to enjoy talking with this woman up into your old age? Everything else in marriage is transitory, but most of the time you are together will be devoted to conversation. If a woman gets a loving husband, she is lucky because many have bad husbands. A bad husband often has a good wife, but the wife continues the marriage. She will never discontinue the marriage if the man is her choice. Instead of accepting the wrong decision, she will hide her mistake by trying her best to make the relationship compatible. So regarding the question of married versus single life, there is no absolute answer to this question. It's your call to choose between them. I think most of you would like to choose a married life, which is neither good nor bad, but you should keep one thing in mind. Friendship must be there between you and your partner to keep the relationship alive. Now you could think, why is friendship needed in a relationship? We will discuss it in the following video. If you're interested, click the video.